Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions and betcraft. Another very beautiful Tuesday morning. And once again, we are back with our predictions right on this very channel. Always bringing our football that are happening across the globe. Also looking at the stats. And also making our verdicts on each of these matches and then bringing it forward for you. That's what we do in betcraft on a daily basis, right? Today we already have our matches lined up, and we'll be looking at it in a short while. And yesterday, we could see that we are making good progress. We are doing well and we are improving. And hopefully today we will do far better than yesterday. All right, so we'll be looking at the matches one after the other. And it is time to ask the folks who are coming across our video for the first time that are yet to subscribe. Take out time to hit the button right now so that you will not be missing out on our games that will always come up on this very channel on a daily basis. All right, that being said, without further ado, let's head to the business of today. And we'll start with the very first match for today. It is in Italy. Italian Coppa Italia Pro, we will have Giana Erminio who will be coming up against Rimini. Okay, these are smaller clubs in Italy, and we look at recent games for both sides. You can see that for the home side, Giana Erminio, it is 3 wins and a draw in the last 6 matches, but they've also lost 2 games out of those games that they had in recent times. And when you look at the away side, Rimini, it is 2 wins and 4 losses out of the last 6 games that they have so far. All right, when you look at how these two teams have performed on home and away basis, you can see that playing from home, Erminio, the home side, have actually been able to achieve 6 wins in the last 10 home matches. They've also had 3 draws as well as 1 loss in the last 10 home games that they have so far. And the away side, Rimini, have been able to achieve 4 victories as well as 4 draws, but have lost 2 matches. Playing from away in the last 10 away games that those teams have had. All right, when you look at how they fed on head-to-head basis, the last time they met was a 0-0 draw. And in this very one, we'll judging with the recent games that they had, we could see that the last 5 games for the home side have produced over 2.5, 4 times out of 5. And we'll be using that to make our judgment for this very one. And we're set to see a minimum of 2 goals in this very encounter. And it is an over 1.5. That's what we expect for that very game. All right. And it takes us to the next game for today. It is in Wales Feeders League. We'll have Holywell will be hosting Colwyn Bay. All right. Holywell in the last 6, they've seen 5 victories and as well as 1 loss. And the away side, on the other hand, I've seen 5 victories as well, but also 1 draw. When you look at how these teams performed on home and away basis, you can see that playing from home, Holywell have done very well, winning 8 matches and a draw in the last 10 home games that they had. They've also had 1 loss as well. And the way side, Colwyn Bay, the way side have also they've won 8 games and a draw and losing 1 in the last 10 away games that they have so far. But when you look at these matches closely, you see that for the away side, they've actually produced over 2.5 loss of goals in the last 8 games out of 10. And the home side also have seen 7 over 2.5 in the last 10 home games. Right, when we combine all these factors together, we definitely expect to see, a lot of goals in this one. Also, judging the fact that, the unheaded basis has actually produced lots of goals as well. And we're going to see a minimum of 3 goals in this game, over 2.5. That's provided for that very encounter. And that takes us to, the World Cup qualifying matches where we'll have in Africa, where we'll have Nigeria, who will be coming up against Zimbabwe. All right, and this very one, we'll expect we'll see that Nigeria in the last 6 have been able to achieve just 2 victories and 3 draws, but have also lost 1 match in the last 6 games that they had. And Zimbabwe, on the other hand, have won 1, 2 draws, but have lost 3 games out of those recent 6 matches that they had so far. All right, when you look at how they fared on home and away basis, playing from home, Nigeria have been able to achieve 6 victories in the last 10 home matches, and they've also had 2 draws as well as 2 losses. 1 loss to Cote d'Ivoire and also 1 loss to Rwanda. All right, when you look at the away side, Zimbabwe, in the last 10 away games that they have so far, they've had 3 victories and 2 draws, but have lost 5 matches out of those 10 away games that they have so far. When you look at how these teams fared on head-to-head basis, the last time both teams met was actually last year, and in a World Cup qualifying match where we saw Zimbabwe hosting Nigeria on that occasion, and it was a 1-1 draw on that very occasion. But prior to that, we also have a friendly against Zimbabwe, Nigeria Zimbabwe, and it was a 0-0 draw. And when we put all these factors together, knowing the fact that Nigeria needs to win a lot of most of their matches, to move up to the ladder in the group. So we expect to see the Nigeria side, who's playing from home, to take the day in this very one, and it is at home side to win out shortly. That's what we expect for that very game. And the next, also in the World Cup qualified match, we have Egypt. We'll be hosting Sierra Leone, and we could look at the recent games for both sides. You could see that for Egypt, the home side hosting Sierra Leone have actually won 2 games and 3 draws, but have also lost once in the last 6 matches. And away side, Sierra Leone have won 2 games, 2 draws, and also 2 losses in the last 6 games that they had so far. All right, when you look at how they fared on home and away basis, you can see that for the home side, Egypt, it is 4 victories and 4 draws, but have also lost 2 matches out of the last 6, out of the last 10 home matches that they had so far. In the way side, Sierra Leone winning once. They've also had 4 draws, but have lost 5 matches out of the last 10 away games that they have so far. All right, when we put all the factors together, we know that we expect Egypt, the home side, who actually won the last meeting between the side from away by 2-0. We expect a repeat of that, and we expect the home side Egypt to take the day, and it is the home side to win out shortly. That's what we expect for that very encounter. The next game for you today, also the last for today, is World Cup qualifying match where we have Cameroon who will be hosting Libya. Okay, and Cameroon in the last 6 have won 3 games and 2 draws, but have also lost 1 out of those 6 games that they had in recent times. And Libya, on the other hand, have won once. They've also had 3 draws as well as 2 losses in the last 6 recent encounters. All right, when you look at how they fared on home and away basis, you see that for both sides, Cameroon, in the last 10 home matches, have done very well for themselves playing from home. They've actually won 7 games and 2 draws in the last 10 home games that they have so far, and they've had just 1 loss, which happened in the last home game in December, where they lost out to Central African Republic. Surprisingly, on that occasion, everyone of us expected to see Cameroon win that very match, but they lost out to Central African Republic. And for Libya, playing from away, they've actually won very well. Won 6 games in the last 10 away games. They've also had one draw as well as 3 losses in the last 10 away matches that they had Libya. And when you combine all these factors, also noting the fact that the last time both teams met, it was in November of last 2 years, and it was a 1-1 draw between both sides, Libya and Cameroon on that occasion. And in this very one, we are expecting Cameroon, who have shown good form in recent times, to rise to the occasion and actually achieve a result against this Libya side, and we'll be giving it to the home side, Cameroon, to take the day and win out shortly in this very one. It is the home side to win. That's what we expect for that very encounter. And that brings our predictions for you today on BetCraft to conclusion. We wish you the very best of luck and hope your ticket goes green. And also remember to play responsibly. These are football matches. Sometimes it may not, look like what it presents. Sometimes surprises, happen in football. That being said, tomorrow is another day, and definitely we'll be coming up with our predictions in this very channel. Do not miss out. But until that time, keep winning.